Good evening, welcome to Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Politics. It comes every Tuesday right here on Ubuntu channel, and it is a program that will look at different political issues that are happening in our country. So we invite you to be part of the discussions going on. There's a link that we're going to share in the comment section. Just click on it and join us in studio so that you can also make your submissions. Feel free to also drop a comment right in the comment section, and the guests on the panel will be able to address whatever comment contribution that you have. To get into the program, I have my guest, Patson Chalwe Kasongo from Citizens First. As welcome, Chairman Kasongo.
Thank you very much. Welcome our dear viewers as we explore the topic for today. I bring greetings from my President Harry Kalaba of the Citizens First and the entire community of the Citizens First. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Also, joining us in the discussion tonight, we also have Mukelabai. Welcome, Mr. Mukelabai.
Thank you so much for
good evening.
Me. Good evening. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Good evening. Good evening, CJ. Good evening, Chalwe. Good to see you. And me, I'm coming to you representing the 11th province. So I'm here to, that's my part. And of course, my other party is my government, Zambia.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mukelabai. Viewers, we encourage you to participate in this program. This is a political program. What we encourage here is constructive and civilized debate. So as you come in, no defamation or derogatory remarks. Be on point and present your point, present your thought over the discussion, and let us do things together. Tonight, we are looking at the visit of the US Vice President Kamala Harris, and the question that we have on the floor is, was it worth it? She had a 2-day visit to Zambia, and it was quite something. Prior to her coming, we had different sentiments flying around, and visited a number of nations as well as State House, where there was a press briefing. And tonight we are looking at that visit. So in our introduction, I'll start with Chairman Chalwe. Give us your overview of his visit to Zambia.
Thank you very much, dear viewers and dear listeners to our program here. I should start by submitting that the idea of other nations and their leadership coming to visit a nation is most definitely a show of our place on the platform of global village politics. And it also settles well because we realize that other nations take cognizance of our presence. and it also adds to our sovereignty as a nation, that we live in a community of friends who realize that our nation actually do exist as well. And based on that, if we were to take things off the cuff in the simplest way possible, would be saying, obviously, that was a visit that was welcome, that the United States, through its Vice President Harris,
Well, we seem to have lost Comrade Chalwe there. I'll pass the baton to Vomkelebai. Vomkelebai, introduction and overview of Vice President Kamala's visit.
Thank you so much, viewers, and thank you, CJ. Well, it's just unfortunate that the internet is trying to play some funny games to our brother. I hope he gets back and finishes up his yeah. But anyway, coming to the issue, was the visit of our Vice President of the United States of America. Can I just stop here because I've just seen our brother back, so he can continue? Thank you.
thank you so much.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you so much. So when we see it from that off-the-cuff issue, we know that it's good for international relations. It shows that indeed we are part of the global community. We are recognized and we are visible. But when you begin to interrogate the place of that visit on the geopolitical level, when you start asking the implication, the alignment of politics as it is in our present generation, and the implication of that visit on the outlet picture of the place of Zambia in relation to other international organizations that may not be aligned to America or may be aligned to America, the narrative changes because it begins to allow us to see the real intention why America is coming. While we may accept that the European this will come of US was innocent and it presented nothing sinister, we understand that it has far-reaching consequences in terms of our relationship with
Well, connectivity issues. We hope you'll be able to join in and continue his submissions. Vomkelebai, please pick it up.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, in my opinion, the visit of the Vice President of America, was very significant to the Zambian people, the Zambian country. And we have a history, Zambia. The relationship between Zambia and America has been positive from the time immemorial. So we know where we've come from, where we are coming from, and where we are. And for us suddenly to negate the visitation or try to bring in other political issues, we are either being unfair to ourselves and being unfair to our allies, who are the Americans. We embrace everyone onto our planet, onto our country. We are friends to everyone. And we should not allow, as a country, to start siding with other countries just because the other country is not there. They are at loggerheads. So to me, I feel like this visit has been very significant, and it has yielded much good results, and it has put Zambia really on a map again, rather back on the Super League. So we should appreciate the fact that within within 1 year 8 months, we have been visited by one of the powerful nations to to come and tie our relationships and have agreements or memorandums or signing memorandum of understanding that will benefit both countries. Of course, it's business. At the end of the day, we have to make relationships to gain something out of it. There will be something positive that is going to come out of this. I know some of the politicians, the oppositions, they have come up with their own sentiments over the visitation. Unfortunately, they thought their innuendos or allegations were not. They became a little bit unfruitful because none of those allegations came true. Because what we saw during the summit and during the visitation, the 2 days visitation of the vice president, none of those allegations, especially on issues to do with the lesbian, the LGBTQ, on that aspect, I feel they missed a very big opportunity. These guys, big time. They ought to have concentrated onto the most important thing that was going to help our people, but their energy was spent on gayism, which was not even spoken or talked about. But we went on and talked about the vice president spoke about something else, and we as Zambians, we are happy that she did not even bring up that issue. If they brought it up within the closed doors meetings, it was, I believe, they ironed it, the two of them as head of states. But for us as the country, we were not privy to that information, and we should not even spread rumors, but we should just embrace that the relationship between America and Zambia is back on track. We're strong. And again, at the same time, we are still going to be strong with our other allies, the Chinese. We are not going to put them away because we are dealing with the Americans. No. Moreover, we owe them money, and we owe the world a lot of money. So we just have to be there to work together with these countries. No matter what, we have to work with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mukelabai. Chairman Chalwe, any reaction to Mukelabai introduction? Wow. Internet challenges, internet issues. He joins in, makes his submission as well. However, we continue. So, this 2-day visit that we had from the second highest officer of the United States government, what are the benefits of that visit?
Yes, can you get me?
What should we expect? I can see
Yes, Wachalo, you can go ahead.
Comrade Charles.
my reaction to Comrade Mukelabai's submission is my concern that he's looking at it.
Is it just me? Are you able to get Chairman Chalwe? Mukelabai?
Can you get me?
Yes, I can hear him now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. Please go ahead. Yes, we can get you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My concern with the Comrade Mukelabai's submission is that he risks being very oversimplistic on the nature of the implication of Vice President's visit to Zambia. And I think it is very easy at this point to dwell on what the opposition political parties' reaction would have been, or what it was, in fact. The point is...
Wow. Interesting. I hope the connectivity issues resolve quickly so that we can progress with minimal interruptions. Mukelabai.
Yes, my brother. What was your question again?
Mukelabai. So my question was, what are the benefits that should come out, or what are the benefits of the visit?
Well, in the first place, our president has already alluded to the nation that being a democratic republic and embracing the democracy, we align ourselves with the champions of democracy, and in this case is the Americans, who we know that they are the champion of democracy. And what we as Zambians should observe, or rather get, is that we are benefiting, and we can see the fruits of our democratic approach. Already we have the 7th president in Africa. And when you look at other countries compared to what is going on around the continent, the democracy that we are enjoying today in Zambia isn't being enjoyed by every African country. There are a lot of coup d'etats in some of the western part of the world. There are a lot of dictatorship. Some president opted to just stay in offices for long. They are still there. We know who they are. But when you look at Zambia, we are even planning, some of our brothers near are even talking of, no, we have tested Hakainde, and we want to get rid of him by 2026. We are not going to be mad or sad if he left. He will do he would have done his job already. And because we are a champion of democracy, we will simply usher in the next leader. Those are the benefits of democracy. And I feel that United States of America has that light that is shining light of democracy, that they are going around in a country and giving support. But when you look at other countries that are communist and that are dictator by nature, we are in lining with them because of economical benefits that we may get from them. Because in this world, we need each other in one way or the other. We may not be happy with the way countries are running, the way they are running their shows, and we are not going to interfere. But if we see there's potential for us to harness certain benefits from or knowledge from such countries, when we have the materials here, we can always go by and knock on their door and say, come to our aid. But we are not going to knock on their doors to ask for their culture to come to us. So economically, this visit of our of the vice president has really been significant and very important and beneficial to our country. Already, 16 million is not amount. It's not a big amount.
Whilst Mukelabai, just whilst you are on the democracy part, there've been sentiments for other political leaders saying that we do not need the Americans to teach us about democracy. They were alluding to the for example, interference, and saying Americans have been interference on the African continent, taking part in toppling some of them, and saying because of that they do not qualify to talk about democracy or teach us about democracy. What is your take on that one?
As a continent, we are still young. Look at our number of years of being independent. We see, we know, we have heard, we have the history that we have tested all this the so-called one-party state or the dictatorship. We have seen in other countries what is going on. So we know that a democracy is the only workable governance system that we decided to approach as a country. And at the same time, I'm looking at the issue that you've just raised of America interfering. Okay, yes, please go ahead and allow him to come in.
Are you able to get me?
Yes. Yes, Chairman, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. My submission was that Comrade Mukelabai is being a bit over simplistic when he approaches it from the attacks that the other political parties may have been offering to the UPND government over the coming of President Harris. But as people, we must place whatever is happening on the long continuum of the long history of Africa. We are an emerging continent, and our emergency is based on our desire for self-rule. The way things are standing right now is that at the same time that this president is coming, there is some serious great disagreements between Russia, China, India on one side, and on the other side there's America and some countries in Europe. All of them are coming to Africa to come and fight over Africa. So you see in Southern Africa, at the tip of Southern Africa, in South Africa, Julius Malema is saying, we are eager to welcome Vladimir Putin. In Zambia, we have President Hakainde Hichilema being very excited in welcoming Kamala Harris. So this very same vice president who says, I have come to Africa to come and do God knows what, she starts first in Ghana. Right there in Ghana, somebody was hinting to me that actually what they are doing is simply to come and see who in Africa is on the side of America. Now, the UPND and the government, as the government of the day, they are very excited over the deals that have been signed. I want to take Comrade Mukelabai back in history, that the issue of a nation being sold out, the issue of incapacitating a nation did not start today. It started a long time ago, such that at the time of slavery, you and me as leaders in a nation, for instance, would sell our own brothers. And in the process of doing that, we remained excited, believing that it had economic value. And yes, there was money involved. We may be selling out an opportunity for growth. One of the saddest things that we feel ourselves as a party is every time you people will go out and say Africa is still a young continent. At what point, Comrade Mukelabai, are you going to say Africa has reached a point where it can stand and be tested so that it is able to do that which it is supposed to do? It is very disheartening, I should say, that in this time and age, we must grapple with this. We are at a time where we want to hear you, for the sake of our continent, crying out about the independence, economic.
May I just chip in there? I know he brought out some issues. You see, that's where we get it wrong. May I just come in about Chalwe? If you is he back?
Please proceed.
Yes, that's where we get it wrong. Look at what is happening today. We are in a huge debt. Okay, and who is giving us money? Where are we going to get money from? That is helping our economy or our own country. We who are calling ourselves we are independent, we are a sovereign nation. We have almost $30 billion in debt. We're even defaulting. Where did we get all that money from? If we are so-called independent, we call ourselves independent and we are growing and we are matured, we are almost 50 to 60 years old out of independence, we are still depending on other countries to help out. We cannot just be an island. But we know the type of attitude that we have as Africans towards managing ourselves, our own welfares. We are so selfish and greedy that we destroy our own opportunities. And then when we have destroyed everything, without even feeling ashamed, we go back to the West. Those that have good democracy, that have good governances, that have the capacity, the money, we go and kneel before them and say, come and help us, come to our aid. So it is hypocritical to talk about, no, we now need to stand on our own feet. We can stand on our own feet, but look at what is happening today in our country, or look at what happened previously. But I'm not going to go on that phase. I want to just talk about the benefits that we have, that we have gotten.
Sorry for interjecting, but you will not run away from this statement that you are giving, because it has serious repercussions even as you are giving it. The truth of the matter is that Africa has grown. And sometimes the incapacitation that we feel as a continent is actually sponsored by the West itself, or maybe by Europe itself.
But who is allowing? Who is allowing the Europeans to come in and take over and govern us, or to control, when we have leaders? Because we have leaders, people like you, people like Bene Hakainde, people like Bene Lungu. These are people, Bene Kaunda, Chiruba. These are people that are Africans. So I find it a little bit strange when we are here now just because we want to make it or to sugarcoat that no, it's okay. We now have to stand on our own just because we are not in control. Our colleagues are in control. We know we cannot do without our colleagues in the West or in the Pacific. We still need them. But of course, I hear you, my brother, when you talk about independency. We need to be able to do our own things. We need to be independent. We have the resources. Why can't we mine our own gold? Our own gold without bringing in any foreign entity? Why can't we do that? It's because
Let me
we can't
interject.
take care of ourselves, my brother. We are
Let me
too,
So
interject. Let me
we're too
interject a bit.
selfish.
okay,
Allow me to interject.
okay, Mukelabai. Okay, Mukelabai.
Thank you so much.
All right, Chairman, come in.
I want to ask you a question, Comrade Mukelabai. Are we really incapable of handling the debt that we have as a nation first, and as a continent next? Given the resources that we have as a continent, do you really think that we have more need of America than America has need of us? Please, I would wish an answer to that one.
We have the
Mukelabai.
capacity and the knowledge. Yes, please. We have the capacity and the knowledge, and the know-how. The problem is that
Yes.
we are too selfish. We are too greedy. We can't manage our own. I almost used the bad word. We cannot manage our own affairs. We can't. We have seen from the time we call ourselves getting independent, being independent, up to today. Here we are as a country, for example, as Zambia. Look at the amount of money that we owe these foreign entities. Imagine how much that money can do to our country. Imagine what we can do if it was just us. That money was just belonging to our own. But instead, look at what did our previous regime, for example. I'm not attacking them now on this part. Look at what they did to the money. What have they done to that to our economy using the very money they borrowed from the foreign powerful nations or the foreign entities that we are negating? Today we are negating them to say we don't need them. We can manage on our own. What is it? Today we are talking about our economy is high. Our lifestyle is high. We are complaining, bashing the current government failing. Go to Kenya. They are bashing the current government also because the high cost of living is high. What are we doing as Africans? So when you come in here and say, we don't need these guys, they just have other agendas. At the end of the day, my brother, I find it to say, we as African, we are so weak. We cannot manage our own affairs without an assistance from our brothers and sisters from these powerful nations. We need them. They need us too.
Thank you.
The admission you are making is
Thank
that
you,
Africa
Mukelabai. Let's allow.
Thank you very much. So the admission you are making, Comrade Mukelabai, is that Africa is capable. You are actually very frustrated, like I am personally, that our African leaders up to this point have been a letdown. They have not been capable to speak on behalf of our African continent. Now, this is my submission. I do not take issues with the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. I do not take issues with the Chiruba. I do not take issues with the Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. I think for me issues begin with, yes, my issues begin with the President Banda going forward. This is my argument. The first three presidents, they were settling down a nation. They were giving a nation a certain direction, which implies that given that we have reached a point where you can never doubt the independence of Zambia, not at all. You can never doubt the democratic credentials as laid down by President Chiluba. You cannot doubt the requirement of good governance and prudence in managing a nation because of Levi Patrick Mwanawasa and his crusade against corruption. This being the case, from the time that Rupia Banda, Michael Sata, Edgar Lungu, and now the president of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, came, the theme has tended to economic development. That's the theme. We may have wished to think about democracy, we may have fought over independence, one-party state, but all those issues are settled. And I share in your anger, because I feel the same anger. I feel we know what is supposed to be done. And the situation is at the global level. The politics are changing. America's place as the superpower of the world is being threatened. And it wishes to see who among Africans and the rest of the world anyway is still aligning itself on the side of America. These are the politics that this is the level of politics that we are being exposed to. That's the nature of politics that we are at. When we talk about the smaller issues, the question that we are having is whether we belong on the side of America and its allies, or we belong on the side of Russia, China, and their allies. So I am not of the view that we perceive the coming of Harris Kamara on the grounds of even what she was doing here and the deals that she made, but the implication of what she's really doing. What is it that America is trying to achieve? What is it that has threatened them so much so that they had to come here? Only on the African ground. And that being the case, Comrade Mukelabai, the fact of the matter is we refuse to be a playing ground of these nations. I know you feel small. I feel small. I feel that Africa on the platform of politics feels small. But as long as we do not stand up, you and I begin to speak like this, then we are looking at a very serious challenge for the continent of Africa. I need you need me to start talking the rise of a continent that is going now to take its place at the global level. No longer just a case of...
May I just interject on that one? We may through the chair, we are in a hurry, in making assumptions, because what we see is when the big nations are busy fighting amongst themselves economically, they want power. We want to position ourselves. We feel when we see Russia or America or China coming to us, we feel we have to. There's this. They must be coming here for a certain agendas, and then because they have their own ways of living, their own values, their own way of living, their own way of life, we feel that they are one day going to come here and impose on us the same lifestyle that these people are doing, that these people we are trying to align ourselves with. No. Are we scared that we don't have enough laws, we don't have enough values, our own norms that we can stand to and say, come rain, come sunshine, we are not going to change. This is our way of living. However, we can live we can coexist with you guys when it comes to economical benefits, friendship. We a lot of developmental projects where we mutually, not one-sided, because we are used of receiving aids. So we feel that they are going to come here and impose. But what is it that we, as Zambian, are going to do for America if we sign these deals? They are coming as well. They want business. It's a survival of the fittest, my brother. This world, it is the way it is. When you come to the business world, the economical world, we are going to see Russia coming to us, being friends with us. And if we are going to benefit, we are going to have benefits with Russia. We are going to in line with Russia because we are going to get something at the end of the day that Russia wants. But Russia cannot come and impose to us as Zambian to say, this is how I want you people to live as Zambians. As a communist, we have to have one president for life. Or we bring Beijing, China, to Africa, then and impose certain values like what we used to see that no, we are not going to entertain that. And our presidents, our African president, they have said it categorically to these powerful nations. We want you because of economical and mutual benefits that we are going to have together. We have the resources, we have the natural resources, and you have the money, you have the technology. So why can't we strike a deal, a balance, where we are going to benefit both, not just one-sided? But we are so much in a hurry to politicize the business arrangement. Those benefits that we are going to benefit our people, we are politicizing it. We think by engaging Russia or by engaging China or America, we are going to even start living their way. They are going to impose us even the gay rights. No.
Allow me to say this, because the truth of the matter is there is nothing innocent here. America will not come all the way from its place there to come to Zambia just to come and entertain us, or
No,
that they are just.
no. On that one, I am clear. I think I'm clear on that one, my brother. I said it's all about business, no matter how we may try to sugarcoat this. Yes, go ahead.
Exactly. And they are going to make sure that they get the greatest get the biggest chunk of. They will not come.
No,
either it's tangible or intangible.
That's where we part company there. When you say you already anticipating because of the past, you are already anticipating that they are going to get a big chunk. Who told you that? How do you arrive at that?
Allow me. You're not allowing me to finish, which makes it impossible for you to get my point.
Okay, please
Definitely,
go ahead.
I'm going to allow you to talk. So this is my point. The bigger chunk is not based on the oil that they are going to get from you. That's not the idea. And this is where, like you have said, life is survival of the fittest. You have rightly put it. That's an evolutionary statement. And being fit does not mean that you go to combat, to fight someone, punch for punch. No, that is not the case. The case is that there are a lot of psychological warfares that are going on. There are a lot of dividends that are accruing on the side of America and not accruing on the other side. The point that we are driving at is the agenda for Harris to Zambia was bigger than just the 2-day visit that came here. It was to understand, are they when they come to Zambia. Is Zambia an ally of America compared to being an ally of Russia, of which you know the relationship that is there? And our stance is that our position has, as a nation, as it is right now, has been weakened, extremely weakened, because it's now you are with America, so Russia sees you or perceives you in a certain way. And that perception is being sponsored by the way we are attending to issues. We have made our position very clear. It is on record that the Russian leadership has attempted severally to meet with the president, which is a very hard thing. The other day I was listening to the president for the Socialist Party, who was submitting that they offered fertilizer to the government of Zambia, and our own president and the government led by the UPND could not receive. All those are indicators that there is a certain behavior. No, allow me. There is a certain behavior that the Zambian government is having towards nations that are not in agreement with America. And that's where we are having a big problem. Because why should we choose America over the rest of the nations that are superpowers also? And anyway, that is even beside the point. Our point is time has come when not just Zambia, but the entire continent must begin to self-rule. And growth will allow us to pass through the hardest points in life. You know that. You're not out there just by sliding through life. You have to pass through things.
So, comrades, allow me to come in. Comrades, allow me to come in. Thank you very much. Apologies for the connectivity issues. However, we continue. Okay, just a minute, Mukelabai. Just in 1 minute, please go ahead. Just in a minute.
See, the mistake we make, or the opposition, especially our brothers in the opposition, I don't know where you are getting all these figures or all these news. You know, you are jumping. I don't know what you are scared of, because I know they say once bitten, twice shy. And you think this current government is doing exactly the same thing by aligning themselves to America only. It's not like that. The reason why, can you switch off your speakers? Thank you. The problem is that we think we are making assumptions without any proper evidence. I don't know, because we have heard what the Russians are talking about America, or the Chinese, what they're saying. Those are powerful nations. They are fighting their own battle. They are trying to prove a point to be powerful. They're economically strong. We can align as a country with anybody. It does not mean that their enemies should be our enemies. That's where we are getting it wrong. We want to show our president today that he should side with other countries like China or America or Russia. No, it is not supposed to be like that. If we do that, then we are making a mistake, and we are going to argue and argue for the rest of our lives, because we are trying to side. We should leave their battles. We should stay away from their battles. But what we should look at, what is our interest? What is it that is going to benefit us if we get hold of the Americans, the Chinese, and the Russians? What is it going? What are the benefits? So we should not dwell on assumptions.
Thank you very much.
Because today, Tina, I am assumptions mune pela ba Chalwe. ni fear. You are scared that by virtue of this government aligning itself to America, China, because we owe them, they will be against us. They will be our enemies. Russia will be our no. Those their
Thank you.
enemies
Thank you very
should
much.
not be
Thank you very much, Mukelabai.
our enemies as the country. Not okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Eh,
So now, I want us to dive. I want us to dive and address the visit of VP Kamala Harris. Her coming to Africa and Zambia specifically. She mentioned that uh, she was here to strengthen that is business ties, as well as extend some of the projects that they've been doing right here in Zambia, in line with empowering youths, women. Okay, example,
Especially
if we
empowering
look at the health
especially
sector,
empowering women.
let's look at the health sector. Okay, America has been funding a lot of projects in that area. Okay, now as a nation, are we can we say that this visit was beneficial? Okay, and if we tie it to what Comrade Chalwe is talking about, independence, is can we as Zambia manage to live without all these things that are coming in from America, since there is a fear that provided someone keeps on providing resources to you, psychologically you have that in your mind, whereby the time that they are going to ask for a favor or to do something, it develops some form of allegiance to them. And probably these are some of the fears that are going around this arrangement. Charlie, are you able to tie the two? Was her visit and her pronouncements, are they really beneficial to Zambia, as well as tying it to the independence? Yes, Chairman.
Allow me to say that Comrade Mukelabai is doing politics. And I am being very categorical on this point because from my interaction with him, he's a man of in-depth understanding of these issues. And we may feel the pressure to defend the government of the day because we are with them. But I feel if you have any intuitions about me, then you know that I am not interested in that angle of politics. I'm interested in the angle of our nation, in the angle of our continent. By way of submitting this to you, sir, I wish to completely deny that you would refuse to see that the fight that America is having with these other superpowers have direct repercussions on the nature of our African countries. It is not a surprise. Someone asked me a question. He said, I want you to give me 5 superpowers in the world. And I started mentioning them. I said, there's India, there's China, there's Japan, there's I ended with America. Then he looked at me and laughed and asked me this very important question. Are these 5 nations you have mentioned friendly to each other? And his point was, no, that was even my answer. All of them are not even friendly to each other. They are superpowers, and they are the strongest economies in the world. They are the ones that we look up to in order for us to have a good definition of what a good economy is. But amongst themselves, even those that seem to be in alliances, the alliances are extremely weak. They are there because of the conveniences that they wish to get. And as soon as they realize that amongst themselves, as they are fighting, it comes to a certain corner, do you know where they tend to? they tend to Africa. All of them, they tend to Africa. That should begin to make a certain communication and pronouncement. And the pronouncement is that Africa is the bedrock of all the resources that they need up there. Trust me, Comrade Mukelabai, you know that these nations have more need of Africa than Africa has need of them. And we need leadership that has self-respect. Respect Paul Kagame coming out as a real leader of Africa, the kind that we are now looking for. He questions them. What makes you think that you have the monopoly of wisdom over us? Most of the times as Africans and African leaders, we fail because we have inferiority complex. We feel that we have need of them. We can't do with them. Now, I want to admit that, yes, some past governments, possibly with the exclusion of the Mwanawasa government, have committed atrocities leading to some burying sacks of money under the ground, to the extent that some people like Faith Musonda were found with serious sacks of money. All those are things that offend any patriot like yourself and myself. We risk being very trivial in our conversations when I see you as a UPND person and you see me as an opposition. I would wish that on principle we agree that this visit had some superfluous advantages that you could see at first hand. But when you dig deeper, you begin to ask yourself, geopolitics and global politics, what are the implications of this visit? Before we can even delve into the actual, I think that is a simpler part of the equation. We can go in and talk, yes, they have been there, they have helped in terms of health. I think those are straightforward answers. Definitely, if they stick to what they are saying, then it will translate into one or two things being done. I am aware that America...
May I just interject? Sorry,
Mukelabai,
I am aware
just give him, I think, a minute or so to summarize, and then you can come in so that he doesn't lose his thought.
I'm concluding, yes, sir, then you can come in.
Okay.
I am aware that America is responsible for the Bombay drainage, right? It is the same America that has done several things. Yes. But it is also the same America that supported the apartheid in South Africa. So you can see that while we appreciate what they are doing, we must know that this relationship is such that it may result in having us more injured and depending on them. I admit the things that they have done has helped. Now, this is a case of a child, and Africa has reached that stage of a child who must be allowed to try to make one or two baby steps. On the side of the economics of our nation, we have enough expertise, we have enough leadership, and that there's no other time in the history of our country that you can refer to as compared to now in terms of the number of universities that we have, the number of graduates that we are churning out, the number of graduates that are still on the streets waiting for a worthy leader that will not stand like an actor on a platform, but rather go and join the people and turn them into a working group of people. That is what we are looking for. From down south, Julius Malema is crying. Up north, in the east, in the west, everybody is saying, Africa, arise. I was listening to Dumisani Dube, who was saying, Africa must think. I argue Africa must not think. Africa has been thinking. It is time for Africa to act. And that is my submission, sir. I agree with you, but I'm saying Africa must begin to think. In fact, Zambia and the coming of the Vice President of America is in fact more for their benefit than it is for Zambia. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Mukelabai, your reaction?
The very day when I can use Zambian kwacha in Zimbabwe and Angola and Congo or other neighboring countries, or even in Europe, the very day when that happens, that I can use my own currency from my country, then I would say, Chalwe, we are winning the battle, and thank you so much for speaking so brilliant about Africa standing up. When have we been standing up? How long are we going to stand up? I believe I hear you. We need to be independent. We have our own laws that we have created ourselves. We have presidents that we are paying a lot of money. Some have retired, some they lost elections, some they have died, some. We have been having our own rules. We kicked out Bazungus. We kicked them away. We won the war of slave trades. It was abolished. They heard us. But are we really emancipated from all these challenges? Can we honestly manage ourselves, our own affairs today?
Yes.
Today, I'm talking about today. Can we manage with this attitude that we have among ourselves, where we kill each other, where we sell one another? I don't understand. It's going to be difficult. But anyway, I hear you.
So,
as a Pan-African, as you are, the fight should struggle. You should continue. You should continue. Not you, but we should continue. But
Exactly.
currently, my brother, we have no capacity, because we are still even using the same laws for our oppressors today in our own countries. We are using them. Our chiefs, the so-called chiefs that we as African had our own governments system of running, or we have our own way of running our government. We have chiefs. Look at where we have pressed our chiefs today. Where are the chiefs? Do they have anything to say? Do they have a say today? Or it's the president or the politician that have a say? So I want us to think really deeply in this issue as we discuss. But let me go back to the moderator's question. The benefits of the US vice president. We are jumping the gun. We are going into things that are not even necessary for now. Of course, we may have these fears here. That's why I use the word, we have this fear that when we see a powerful nation visiting us, we are now wondering, because we have been beaten so many times, we are now wondering, what next? What is it that they want? That's why we are even talking, insinuating that the dividends that they are going to get will be more than what we are going to give in. But let's look at it from the plain paper point of view. They have come to visit us to strengthen the ties between the countries. And the reason why Zambia also aligned itself to US, because United is a champion of democracy. Just on that, let's look at that. If we want to now start challenging their democracy, if it is really genuine with what they do, what they have done in other countries, then we are missing the point. But as our country, as a sovereign nation, we chose to align ourselves with the democracy to be a democratic nation, and we see the benefits of being a democratic nation. Today, Wolungu is sitting there listening, watching the president, the current president, the seventh president, HH. Why? Because it's the beauty, the benefit of democracy. So we should
Thank you,
not.
Mukelabai.
May I best finish, please? I will go
Please,
somewhere
please,
natural.
please. Claude, please.
I feel that when I'm talking, Mulenji, I don't know whether Ndela, I know I'm talking things that are boring. That's why you're cutting me short. I don't know because Apava
No,
I wanted to interject. You told no, don't let him finish.
But
please,
please
okay,
allow him to
yeah,
talk.
because you are responding to Chairman Chalwe. So please summarize your submissions, because I'm also minding time so that we'll be able to gain more ground and dwell on one area. Go ahead, Mukelabai.
Okay. With your respect, I accept your advice. Thank you. The thing is, the vice president of America's visit to Zambia is going to yield a lot of good benefits for our country, and they tie a very good symbiotic relationship between Zambia and America. And the reason is that our president has categorically put it to say, we as a nation have aligned ourselves with America because of the democracy. That is just what we should hold on to. And we can deal with America because they champion democracy. We can hold on to them because they have been there with us from time immemorial. They have not done any injury to us. They have not done any injury to our country. If they did, we will be the first country to eject them. But for now, America has not done anything negative that may constitute Zambian government to simply negate or say no to America. For now, we are going to align ourselves with America, but that does not mean we as Zambian cannot have relationship with other superpowers. We will be able to go and have cordial relationship with other superpowers without necessarily interfering in their own, or the other superpower interfering in our own national laws or affairs. We are a sovereign nation. They cannot come to tell us to say we should now start promoting gayism. We should not start promoting dictatorship, or what do you call this? What is the China's what is this? The governance in China. We should not. They are not going to come and put that to us to say we should hold on to. We are a sovereign nation. We have our own laws that we made to ourselves. They cannot tell us how to eat in Shima. We will just get, if they come to us and help us to know how to prepare impoto ya malaiti so that we can cook proper nshima as an innovation, who are we to say no? We will get that idea and cook our nshima properly. So if you're to let Tina, if you're to let for if you're if you're a gay, if you're a dictatorship, if you're a war, shanshan, otherwise we can stick to our own rules, our own game, and we should just be strong, strengthen our own selves. I promise you,
Thank you.
nobody will come and take advantage on us as a nation.
Thank you, Mukelabai. All right. So you okay? I've noticed from time and again we keep on touching on the issue of gayism, the LGBT issue. Uh,
Because
I
that is
would
what,
like just to raise.
has been,
Yeah.
that is what has been propagated
So
in
yeah,
Zambia
let us just
before.
let us. So yeah, I want us just to hammer this one right ahead and just we look at it. Even before Vice President Kamala Harris came in, we saw this commotion going on. There were letters being taken even to American embassy, social media. Why this fear? And why is Zambia really reacting in this way? Even when they, if we look at the issue wasn't brought out, what is your reaction to that? Should the issue have been addressed head on even during the press briefings that they had? I'll start with you, Chairman Chalwe.
The issue of LGBTQ is actually an international issue. And not just an international issue, it is an intercontinental issue. And in other words, I'm saying it is a global issue. It's an issue which I have seen political leaders avoiding talking about it because of the nature of its sensitivity. And it's one where very few of the African presidents and political leaders have come out clear because they risk being put in a certain limelight. The other day, I put a note on President Nevas Mumba's page. I think I was coming out saying, you have failed to state the weight, because in his statement, you could see he was implying LGBTQ, but he couldn't say it because it would have repercussions, and him being a pastor, it was, if it comes out, in fact, on Facebook, I'm told they can even close your own page from as being hate speech. So let's agree on this ground that, number one, that issue is sensitive when you see it at an international level. You have the entire community of America, a very large community of Europe, a very large community almost everywhere, and even in Africa, down South Africa, they're accepting it. So as it is seen, it is not just a question of it being an idea that roams around. In case of our nation, we even put it in the constitution as an act that goes against the order of nature. That's how we have written it in our constitution.
Yes, in the constitution. Yes.
That means, in terms of acceptance, there are two ways of looking at it. You see it at the global level. How is it being perceived? Is it being seen as a human right? And being a signatory as a nation to the human rights, to the United Nations, which uphold the issue of LGBTQ as a human right, it makes the entire conversation hard on the side of Zambia, such that at a time when President Edgar Chagwa Lungu made his position very clear, some people have even asserted that the president of the United States, the vice president, could not associate with him during his visit, although he's now considered the father of the country, in the same LGBTQ. And the rest is history. So when it becomes more of how we have chosen to live as a nation, and the large majority of our community are saying we are not interested in the issue of LGBTQ or whatever we call it. The idea is the majority saying we do not wish to see this. Why? Because one, we are a declared Christian nation, and using the authority of the Bible, we take the position that it is considered to be an abomination. So it informs our perception on the matter. We are not so eager to say we are going to fall on it. Generally, as the entire community over our nation. Just allow me. But
okay, yes.
But when you now look at it, the fact again on the ground is that we have a growing community of people who are saying we have rights also. You may not agree with the way we view things, but we have rights. If we choose to do things in a certain way, we will not be stopped. That is what that community is saying. And the outside community is saying, fine, the entire community is saying you're not interested in LGBTQ. But there's a certain portion of your people who are saying we are actually exactly what they are saying we shouldn't be. And we feel it is biological, it's genetic, we didn't choose to be. All those issues will come in.
But then
I think I'm not stating my opinion. I'm saying I'm stating things that are researched. The way people
hold your
are viewing.
I want you to tie your response with this. We've had these former presidents as well as the current president issuing statements to say the government, the law, he himself is against this LGBTQ issue in Zambia, okay? And making it plain that whoever is involved in such an activity, the law is going to visit them. But why has this issue continued? Why is it being pushed every now and then? It keeps on coming up. Why doesn't that settle the matter?
It's because the proponents, the people are perceiving it as a human right, are the same people that our government has gone to bed with. So in short, the assumption is we agree with what they believe in. And if not, they're in the process of convincing our government to begin convincing us. They may not have yet reached that position, but for how long can you have a relationship where the vice president, while in Ghana, makes it very clear that that is her position? Then the next country she comes to is here. So there are those misgivings from the people. They can't push it aside because they're seeing that this relationship has the potential of being weakened to the level where we have no choice but, like it is in Uganda and Kenya, to bring it to parliament so that parliament can debate over it as the first step, that it is a real issue worth discussing in our nation.
Thank you very much, Chairman Chalwe. Mukelabai, I need your reaction on that one. And then after that, we go into the concluding phase. Mukelabai.
Thank you so much. This issue of, I'm not going to say the LGBTQ, whatever you call it. Even the letters, they're confusing myself. Confusing, you know. Yes, I will simply say that, our government has already stated, and I don't understand why our brothers from the opposition, especially from the oppositions, are the one busy spreading this propaganda or rumors about the same LGBTQ. It is so sad, even when they have heard the position of the nation, the position of the government over this gayism, but they still want to go on and busy preaching. And at the same time, I'm still coming back to the issue of fear, dwelling on assumptions, innuendos, what you are being scared of. They talked a lot, like Bochilwa has put it, to say the reason why, because they see the government going in bed with the country that accept or entertains gayism and use it as a human right. If they have done that, there are so many laws in America that when you apply them in America and you bring them to Zambia, I don't think they do apply. You know, America is not Zambia. What happens in America stays in America. When Americans come to Zambia, they cannot come and enforce. But I don't understand, why should our brothers and sisters start having this fear that, no, we are soon going to be given, we're going to enact laws that are going to now align ourselves with gayism. We are going to accept gayism. At the end of the day, if that legislation is passed, it's coming through, it is going to go to our parliamentarians, legislatures. And those legislatures, they are our brothers who have the same feeling that you and me have. Do you honestly think they are going to pass that law? Seriously? Even when we have the laws right now, the current laws, that negates, that does not allow the practices of the homosexual related or sodomy related matters, you know. But if you were to follow this issue seriously, you will find even these men, straight men, the so-called straight men, heterosexual, as we are straight, we can also be found guilty, because when we go to our women, in whatever goes on in our bedroom there, sometimes we don't want to go the natural way. We want to go the other way around with our women. And what happens? Should we also be arrested? Because according to Zambian law, it's against the law. You see, so we don't need to go in that area because we don't care what goes on behind closed doors. What we care about is our economy. What we care about is the lifestyles of our people. Do our people have money? Can they manage to put food on their tables to feed their families? These are matters that we should bring in. Our children attending education. Do we have healthcare system that can cater for everyone? Are we having enough jobs for our youth? So why should
So,
we? Don't cut me. There you go again, cutting me.
no, I need you to summarize on that one so that we can go into the concluding phase
So
where
we
you can
dwell too much
exhaust.
in Zambia. We dwell too much on things that are not productive. That we know the laws are already there, and we cannot do anything with it, no matter how we may try to speak, because the law is there. Hakainde Hichilema himself cannot impose gayism on the Zambian people. Who or Wupuba. Not Wupuba, Atikucha, Wuchashani,
Kutumpa.
Kutumpa. Yes.
Kutumpa.
Hakainde cannot impose gayism onto the Zambian people. Nish Kutumpa. Because he knows there is a law which is already in black and white. So why should our politicians, the opposition today, stick to a non-issue that is not going to yield any? Let's talk about inkongole basha balungu. Let's talk about our economy ubunga tuweshe, so that our people can afford. Let's talk about education. Are our children able to go to school and attain best education, whatever? Do we have enough medicine in our hospitals? Gayism is none of an issue, because right now I don't think Zambians think, they just read about them. They don't want to practice. If there are those people that are practicing it or who are born that way, they are doing it, it is actually none of our business, because they do it. It's between them and God. Eukaba judging, not if we, but ngatwa basanga pambiribiri. Bale chitefyo, then we'll definitely pounce on them and prosecute them, because the laws that we gave ourselves speak against that. So in my conclusion, I would simply say, for even Zambia, we should learn to prioritize things that matters. My opposition, stick to issues that are going to develop our country, help our brothers and sisters out there. Gayism will be talked about abroad or here, but it will never, it's not an issue. What is an issue right now is to reduce Inkongole Bashabalungu and the economy. We bring out this economy from the ICU to where it's supposed to be. And we are happy that Bene Kamala, they are now coming to visit and to see where we are, so they can bring some kind of developmental and innovative technological ideas that we can use we can put our people up there, not if you're Mlela and if you're LGBTQ. Those won't put food on our table. I'm sorry, but that's the fact.
Thank you, Mukelabai. As we are wrapping up the program, I want us to make submissions, and in your submission, also include what you feel the way forward should be. Such visits, should they be embraced, and how should they be handled? Our president, His Excellency HH, mentioned that each nation has got a separate relationship with Zambia. So does that really stand? Even when we look at the global politics and the current scenario that is going on, what is the recommended or best way forward? Chairman Chalwe, you have 5 minutes to make your concluding remarks.
I would wish Comrade Mukelabai to start.
Seriously, let's follow protocol. The chairperson has ruled.
Mukelabai. All right, today I'm following protocol. No problem. I get it. I get it. Going forward,
You are the first
one,
citizen. You are the first citizen. I mean, first from the first citizen. So you go first.
most definitely, no problem. As a party, citizens first, I think our position is very clear. We are founded on the principles of our religious belief, and we believe that there is no religion in Zambia or which accepts or agrees with the concepts of LGBTQ. And that being the case, it means that the case is very clear. I wish to say we are taken aback by the submissions of Comrade Mukelabai, who assumes that everything he hears comes from the opposition. There are a lot of people who share in the same concerns. But again, it's something that we have come to accept, that whatever seems uncomfortable to UPND, they rubbish it on the opposition as the easiest scapegoat. And when they see that the entire opposition is not in a position to shoulder the guilt, they go down to their perpetual and eternal nemesis, the PF. So they are going to make sure that they bombard it on the PF or on the entire opposition. Nonetheless, I think it is very clear that a lot of people, the clergy raise the same concern, the the non-governmental organizations, they raise the same concern, and also the opposition, they raise the same concern, and it is coming from somewhere. It's not something that you can say is coming from nowhere. It's because they notice that we are flirting a lot with America, even to the exclusion of other partners that we've had on the global platform. So that is the number one. The coming of President Harris to Vice President Harris to Zambia is a good thing. And going forward, I think it would be very unforecasting on our side to assume that we can stop other countries from coming to this nation. Definitely they need to come. We do business with them. If you are a student of business administration, one of the things you are going to learn is international business. And before you can do business in those countries, at least you have to interrogate their political atmosphere. It is a very reason of business, and that we have ambassadors and diplomats working in foreign countries. Their job is to make sure that they create relationships on our behalf as we remain in this country. So definitely that must be promoted. As citizens first, we are clear, we will continue to encourage promotion of international relations. Our president, President Harry Kalaba himself, was Minister of Foreign Affairs. So he's an expert in that. He knows the importance of having those meetings. But those meetings must not result in us aligning with one to the exclusion of the other, and all this being an advantage of the one that we have aligned ourselves to. That does not make sense. That is where we seem to deviate a lot. With this government, they are going a direction that generally the Zambian people are not agreeable to. They feel that we are flirting too much with one government to the exclusion of the other, and we hope for a balance. Make no mistake, we do not agree with the fact that the Patriotic Party, the Patriotic Front government was flirting a lot with China. We saw Havik and a lot of Chinese companies coming to Zambia, and it was normal to the extent that we saw Chinese people wearing the Zambian police uniform, which was not normal at all. We sat in the utter hour as we observed this happening. We are not in agreement with that relationship as citizens first. We're also not in agreement with the relationship that the UPND is now taking with America. We are saying, let's have a situation where Zambia is a place where this country can come, they are comfortable, we do business with them. America comes, but not on their terms. It must not appear like we have forsaken these others. President Hakainde Hichilema made it very clear that you are saying, I am quoting him, maybe in a paraphrased way, but this is what he was saying. You are saying that we have soured, we are not having a good relation with China. Are you not the ones who caused this relationship because of the dates and whatnot that you caused, referring to the Patriotic Front? He was admitting to the fact that there is a sour relationship between China and Zambia. The relationship is no longer the same. It is also on record that the Russian embassy might have wished to meet up with the Zambian government, but it is proving futile. And in addition to that, you can already observe that when aid is coming from these countries, our country is refusing to accept that aid. But we are busy accepting anything that is coming from America. Let me conclude. That is coming from America. This kind of divide is what is causing our nation, our people, not even opposition political parties, to talk. And when they talk, you say the opposition have said this. We are the watchmen of this nation. The day we become silent and allow UPND to its own vices, I am telling you there will be fire in this country. And it will be the beginning of dictatorship. Mukelabai, you should be happy that we are here. I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much. Mukelabai, your 5 minutes in concluding starts now.
Well, thank you so much, Wo Chilwa. We know our opposition is there to put.
Chalwe.
I
It's
mean,
Comrade Chalwe.
yes, Wo Chalwe.
Thank you.
We know that the government, the opposition are there to checks and balance our government, which is okay. But at the rate at which you guys are going, you are a disappointing bunch of, guys or politicians that have
Mukelabai,
really.
don't cause the reason for people to react.
I want
Conclude.
to. I'm concluding, but
I'm concluding. That one sounds like I should. I will not allow you to punch me and run away. No.
okay,
No.
I retract. I will
Conclude.
start.
Conclude.
I will start afresh. The opposition,
Yes.
the opposition, you are simply. I don't know how I am going to put this word. We see the need. We have the need for the opposition in Zambia, but currently, the opposition that we are getting, probably from what you, my brother here, I think you are a little bit. I will give you an exception because you are different. You have your own ways and very understandable and categorical in your explanation. And even though sometimes you may go out, we can hear a little bit of, but you are a reasonable gentleman. But what we hear from the so called main opposition, the opposition that we're getting today, we even wonder, why should we have such? And these are the chaps that were in government just recently, not 20 years ago, just 1 year ago. They're still receiving their final benefits. Some of them are still not being paid fully. They're still in government, in short. But you listen to what they're saying today, it really raises a lot of eyebrows how they are checking and balancing the current government. This issue of gayism is an example. You cannot just dream of an issue from without and start talking and even protesting, and then you are surprised that you go and protest and they're on your street, and then the people you're protesting against, they don't even mention the thing you're protesting about. It is so a little bit, to me, I feel like our current opposition sinks so low. And you
But
are
have
not.
you realized that the American government did not react because of the same protest? That's a very big
No.
possibility. Where
No.
no,
Don't go there. Don't. You see, you are so much good at making assumptions. Don't
yours
deal
is
with facts.
yours is
Do
an
you have
assumption
evidence?
too.
No, you don't even have
Yours
evidence
is
to
an assumption
substantiate
too.
that issue.
We-
You just
comrades,
making assumptions.
comrades, we are now concluding.
You know, you are making
This is
assumptions.
conclusion.
So let's not
Mukelabai,
make.
please.
You are making assumptions. By opposition, you are full of. You dream too much. You have so much assumptions. You are scared of nothing. You are scared that the current government, because you don't trust them, they may end up doing, and you think they are as lousy as the previous government, and they are going to do error. They are going to do the same mistakes that the previous government. The previous governments, my brother and sisters, they had no experience. They were so rude that they did not want any advice. Today, you and me, we are on this fora expressing ourselves, freedom of expression, no closure of any media. Why? Because this current government has given us this opportunity. So we should trust our government right now. Yes, where they go wrong, please, watch Chalwe, be the number one to speak up. Not speaking up using the propaganda coming from the main opposition party. Not speaking up coming from innuendos, or just because someone hates the current government and the leadership, then you want to challenge every little progressive policy they come across. You are just busy shooting it down. To me, I find that to be so dramatic and so hypocritical and very, very childish. So I want us as a country to have the opposition that will simply trust our government right now, because we have laws. The government does not work without
Comrade
following. May I finish?
You're stretching your luck if you're expecting the opposition to trust the government. That is impossible. It is
The
completely
government, you see, I'm not going to finish my conclusion.
We are concluding, like I said, we are concluding.
The government will never do any business without following what is written in the law, or without following their policies and any written laws. All they are doing is to follow the constitution, and all what they are doing, or appending signatures or traveling, everything is within the scope of the laws that we gave ourselves. Look at the laws before you negate the government. Look at what they are doing. Don't just rush and start making innuendos, because you are making fool of yourselves as opposition. You are making fool of yourself. Remember, the government cannot.
The government, we have heard you. As
the
opposition,
government cannot work without following the rules and the laws that we gave ourselves, especially the constitution.
Thank you, comrades.
And
thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrades.
We have heard you, but we continue being
thank you very much, comrades.
Thank you,
so
unfortunately, and
unfortunately, may I finish up?
We need to.
I'm being cut.
We need to end the program here. sorry,
So this is what you meant by coming last.
No, thank you very much.
May I just say a few seconds? I know I'm looking at time here. I'm looking at time.
Yeah. Give me a few seconds, but please don't start a new
within 5 seconds.
We will react.
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me.
We are opposition, remember, so don't start a new conversation. Conclude, Comrade Mukelabai.
I didn't know that we had two moderators. Anyway, I will try my best.
I'm speaking on my behalf. When you attack, who react? Conclude, please.
Please conclude,
okay. So, the opposition, your gayism protest did not yield anything, because it was a non-issue, it was a non-starter, and you looked so untruthful, and maybe for better, maybe to say it, I'll just say it, you looked foolish coming out to protest and talk about things that was not even spoken about. So you should actually be ashamed of yourselves, and you should now sit down and think twice to say, look, what is it that we need to do? We need to re-strategize on how to approach and attack or check and balance this government. Otherwise, the things that you are busy trying to push the government
Thank
on,
you.
it is all taken care of. Follow the law. Ask your lawyers. They will help you. If your lawyers Hikopo, Kavien Kuli Walungu, maybe he can help you as well. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Basically,
Mukelabai. I'm
that,
I'm
and
sorry,
he wants to have
Mukelabai.
one
We have to
man
end the program
before the
now.
conversation ends. Mukelabai, we beg. We
Yeah.
beg, don't lead us into temptation. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that because I'm advised mulepoka kuma lawyers, but let me
You are.
mislead son having. So I'm sorry. The government is
Eh,
following the laws, and the laws
You.
should be
Thank you,
total.
you are not sorry, you have said what was on your heart, and you
Mukelabai.
wanted to
Thank
say we have
you.
finished. The president says Kutumpoko,
Thank
so we understand anyway. We take it as it is. It is.
So
thank you.
are you saying indeed, Tumpa?
Thank you. You,
How
comrades. Thank you,
we don't say
comrades.
that
We need to end the program
opposition
here.
is humble.
Viewers, thank you very, very much. This has been Let's Talk Politics, where we discuss the different issues that are affecting our nation. And want to thank you very much for the great and wise submissions from Comrade Patson Chalwe, Kasongo, and Mukelabai, who have really offloaded and have had an exciting 1 hour 50 minutes on this program. Please make a date with us next week when we'll be looking at another exciting topic on Let's Talk Politics. For everyone who has made a comment and been part of this broadcasting, as well as our producer who's been Emmanuel Nkunika, we want to say thank you and good night.